I basically was when I was given the opportunity to, which was actually quite early on, but I've been delaying it to help promote another thing that is dropping
Very soon.
very soon.
Okay.
So I'll just give them a tease
Yeah.
for that. But anyway, I'm dropping some shit and then following it up with Bars
Mm-hmm.
of Steel, and yeah, I was just like, man, I don't know, need to give people something new, and I wanted to address a lot of things as well. So yeah, covering a lot of topics and talking about some shit that people hopefully actually
Mm-hmm.
listen to and need to hear. Nothing too
Okay.
serious. It's not like I'm talking about some
Okay,
Olympic
so you're not gonna
shit,
like set the
but you know
world
what I'm
on
saying?
fire. It's not gonna be trending news across the world, cause loads of controversy.
No, no. I'm just like I'm on Triple J. I got to say some shit now,
Okay.
like for sure. Like I'm on a national
Okay.
thing, and I got to bring that national
Okay.
game,
I
rep the
mean, are
country.
you aware
You
of
know what I'm
how many
saying?
people are listening to your content?
I guess so. Like I keep a close eye on it, but it's hard to gauge what a number means when, like I don't. I mean, like apart from when I'm going and doing shows
Mm-hmm.
or seeing people, like I'm basically I don't actually see that many people. I don't fucking I just do my thing. I'm pretty secluded, so I'm not. Well, apart from like, say I go to a shopping center these days, pretty much every time I go to a shopping center or some shit, I got someone coming up to me being like, "Nerf, bro." So like, I guess that's a good indication of who's listening to my music. But I don't
Okay.
know, yeah. But I'm trying to,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
does do you are you aware, right, when you first started writing music, you're writing music for yourself, maybe just the friends who are first gonna listen to it, the first ever song you're ever writing, and then what you're talking about there, what you're saying, you're thinking, all right, maybe 20 to 50 people may listen to this. And then as opposed to now when you're
yeah.
writing stuff, are you aware that thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are going to be listening? Do you feel like over time you've changed what you're saying or how you say certain things because of how many more people are listening?
Yeah, definitely. Like back in the day was definitely starting off saying some shit that, uh, yeah, man, I've definitely got the audience in mind. Like I'm not gonna go out.
That's just growing up as well, though.
Yeah,
That's just growing up with the art, man. Yeah,
yeah,
I even have it with my videos. I'm at a point now where I'm like really thinking about what I'm putting in my videos and how I'm influencing a culture of people.
yeah. Because we got kids out here taking our word as gospel, man. Like that's one thing that I did realize is we got young people out here that idolize us, and we gotta make sure that what we're putting out is what actually reflects us or reflects what we want to see in the world or
And
whatever.
it can be interpreted the wrong way as well if you don't think about it properly.
Yeah, definitely. That's happened to me more than a couple
Mm-hmm.
of times. Definitely. Lyrics being misinterpreted or,
Mm-hmm.
or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like,
Yeah.
I mean, especially with drill, there's a huge conversation around, how much is drill influencing knife crime and all of these mad different things going on. Um, but of course, I don't feel like it's the music's fault. It's not the reason why people are going out here, stabbing other people. Of course, if someone's in that mindset to go and do something that heavy, I don't think because of a song that they've heard is the whole reason that they're going to do it. I believe music can put you in a certain mood. It may be the reason why they got a little bit pumped up, but I don't think it's the reason they, go out and start doing the things that they're doing. However,
Yeah.
Might be the reason why they have it on them in the first place. They might not have that knife in their waist pocket if they didn't think that was something that people were meant to do. You know what I mean? If you create a culture where it's normal for people to have knife fights, then you have to carry a knife. You know what I mean? If other
Yeah.
people have knives, then you need a knife too, man.
It's also kind of a chicken and
And
egg thing, man.
We
Like,
don't have that culture here, but
Mm.
you could potentially get it if you promote it.
well, yeah, it really depends where you are. It depends who you hang out with, and it's kind of a chicken and egg thing as well, man. Like if you're into knife culture or whatever you want to call it, then you'll listen to shit that promotes that, or vice versa. Like
I mean, here there's a
they think
huge culture around knife crime and whatnot. I mean, if we go down the route of like drugs and things like that, like people here smoke weed. No one here rips bongs. Like the whole of like 2 Man and his dog does kind of thing. Like that's a way bigger thing out in Australia. There's a whole there's a bigger thing around heavier drug use as well. Here, if you drink or smoke weed, like that's it. They're the 2 things that are kind of socially acceptable here. Anything higher than that, it's looked down upon. Whereas in Australia, it kind of seems like there's a different dynamic to everything. Obviously, massive culture difference. But do you think music plays a part in that then?
Yeah, it's definitely a different dynamic
I
down
don't
here,
even
man.
think it's got anything to do with music. Hey, I think we just got a very competitive culture, and I think it's more like a competition. It's like a pissing contest, bro. Like with that shit. I don't know. It's funny, man. Like I've seen people be like, "Nah, I'm gonna take the most pingers," and then like you got 2 dudes taking 16 pingers just because the other one's like, "Nah, I'm gonna take more pingers." You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it is what it is, man. I don't really.
That's more the EDM music.
It's not the rap guys. It's all the EDM crew. Blame it on. I mean, no, but that does speak to it. I mean, if you look at EDM concerts and like drum and bass concerts in particular and things like that, like there's more drug use, heavier drug use at concerts and festivals related to that music. I guess you could use that as an argument.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it is interesting, man. Like in Australia and that stuff, because like you watch footage of UK grime concerts, UK grime, all that shit. There's dudes going absolutely mental, like when they're getting gassed up and just going nuts, and like people just go like, "Oh yeah, he was gassed up. That was some crazy shit." In Australia, bro, like after I do a set, I'm like the hypest I'll ever be. Like that's my high, and then everyone would just come up to me and be like, how many pills are you on, man? Like they're just assuming that I'm gacked off my head because I'm just like hype. And like in the UK, same shit, bro. They do raves and they get on it, but like I don't know, it's different. It's like the culture just perpetuates itself again.
But you're right, though. It should never be on the artist. It always comes down to the individual.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Of course, I don't feel like it's an artist's responsibility at the well-being of the people who listen to their music. However, I think an artist can have an influence. Like I think artists should have more of a positive influence. Now, I'm not gonna be the guy to sit here and be like, "Oh, everyone has to be a pacifist and everyone's meant to be clean cut." I'm not saying that, but in terms of if you're gonna tell your story about whatever it may be, you know, there's a way that you put a perspective on it, right? For example, if someone does a track about alcohol, there's the perspective of alcohol can fuck you up. There's the perspective of moderate that shit. There's the perspective of let's just go get fucked up. You know, you can talk about these things, but it's your perspective on it at the end of the day.
Don't do drugs.
Stay in school.
Stay in school. I actually like the other day I was at a garage sale and this kid like walks past me and he's like, "Bro, no, blah blah blah," and I was like, he looked pretty young, so like I don't know, sometimes I just don't know what to say when they just stand there like trying to take a photo. So I'm like, "Oh, he's still in school?" And he's like, "Yeah, bro." I'm like, "What school do you go to?" He's like, "Blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Oh, I went to this school," and he's like, "Well, that's fucking crazy, man. Cheers for the photo." And I was just like, "Stay in school." Like, I don't know, bro. That's like, what else do you say? Like, sometimes you get into some really awkward conversations. Hey, like, yeah, it's like that.
It's a difficult one.
To really be. Like
I mean,
that
all I can speak to that is I'm a PE teacher. I'm a sports coach. So obviously, very recently.
What's sport?
Like,
sport?
So I mainly teach football, but then I teach in a primary school, so it's just like a bit of everything. So yeah.
Bro, you got to see me play football, bro. I'm a dog footballer. I'm not joking. Look, I got Nike FC right here.
Just because you look Nike like a baller, though, doesn't mean you play like a baller. All right.
Bro,
all right.
Trust me, bro. I got a kick on me. I played football since I was 10. Like proper football. Actually, bro, in the next clip I drop, I'm kicking around a footy.
So don't worry, I'll have to do the critique there then. We'll take your best bits. Obviously, only the best parts will stay in there.
I got techers for days, man. People don't even know.
I'll take your word for it.
Straight
But,
up.
yeah, so, I mean, me being a teacher, you know, recently, very recently, some of the kids that I teach have found out about my YouTube. And so through that, then they found my music and they're like, oh my gosh, man, like, Coach Charlie swears. And I'm like, so it's like now at this point now where they're listening and they're like, oh, you're swearing and you're saying this, that, and the other. Now, for me, I don't talk shit in my music. I'm not going to do the whole, I keep it real 100. I'm not going to do that route. But yeah, I would like to say that everything I say in my music, I'm aware that anybody can listen to it, including people, you know, really young. And so it's now made me aware that even down to my YouTube videos and things like that, like even like in the last video that I made, the Talakai reaction, I swore. And the first thing that popped up in my head was, oh shit, man. That kid who's like 7, 8 years old is watching and I'm swearing and this, that, and the other. And it's like, all right, that's one thing, but it makes me aware of how far your music or your content can reach from people who are like in their 50s. They've got grandkids coming, they're all the way down to kids that are literally in like primary school. And so it's crazy how far your content can reach, especially with YouTube, etc., etc.
Yeah, bro. I found out today that I've got a fan. What was it? I've got like one of like Golly's aunties. Like what was that shit, bro?
She's 41.
She's like a 41-year-old woman. I'm her favorite rapper. Like just weird shit like that, bro. Like Joe, Only Odd Man. He'll be like, "Oh, my dad's listening to your shit right now. I'm like trying to chill at home, and he's just blasting your new music, and I'm just."
My parents have rocked a couple gigs too.
Yeah, man. Golly's parents go hard. My parents kind of like, I definitely keep them in mind. Actually, nah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't really think about my parents listening to my shit when I write it, but they do listen to it. So,
I mean, have you ever found it awkward? Like, do you ever feel awkward explaining what you do to especially older people who may not understand it as much?
To be honest, bro, the stigma around rap in Australia is pretty shit generally. So for the longest time, I don't like, okay, so if I have a friend and they introduce me, it's weird, bro. It's weird now because if I have a friend and they introduce me like, oh, this is my mate Toby, he raps, I'm like, because then they'll be like, there's some reactions, like maybe some people who like don't care, they'll be like, oh, that's mad, you make music, and then some people will be like, oh yeah, and then dickheads, their first question, like, bro, I was at uni and this chick's like, blah, 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 basically get to talking and inevitably it comes out like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm going to Melbourne. Oh, what for? Concert. What type of concert are you playing? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I do rap. And they're like, oh, how many Instagram followers do you have? And I'm just like, fucking hell. And at this point, I was like, oh, like 1,000 and a bit. She's like, oh, you know, you're famous. Fuck.
See...
But now it's like, bro, like I was having Easter with my girl's parents, my girl's mum and her mates, and they're like 40, and they're like trying like hella youthful, like 50-year-old women, like they're all on the Instagram and shit. And like we took like a lit selfie because you know wine with the gals and shit, just flexing on them with the mum, and they like want to tag me in it, and there's like this 50-year-old woman, and they're like, "Oh, what's your Instagram?" Blah blah blah. And she's like, "Oh my god, you have 16,000 followers. That's crazy." It's just funny like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it gets a lot easier the bigger you get and the more numbers you put behind it to a certain extent. When you can explain to people, like when you first say, yeah, I'm a rapper, I make rap music, you know, I'm sure that it's obviously, as you said, the people who go, wait, that's so sick. And then you get the other people that are like, I'm a bit unsure, but does it make it easier, the fact that you could say, no, but I do this for a living, you know, I make money, I'm able to provide for friends and family because of it. Does it make it easier with that dynamic of it?
Nah, bro, I'll just say I'm a DJ and get the fuck out of there. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, what do you do? Like, man, like most of my family, like I don't even know if they know that I do this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I don't even know if they know. Like it's almost like I'm coming out. Like, oh, I'm a rapper, and they're like, oh no, what would Jesus think, man? Fuck. Like, you know, it's like that, bro. I got a like hella Christian ass family, bro. It's hilarious. But Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I could keep it hidden. It just seems that everyone who has a conversation nowadays seems to go, oh yeah, he's a YouTuber. And it's like, I am a YouTuber, but I'm not one of those big YouTuber kind of things. And yeah,